Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Smara Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaura Vicharine Nirvishesha Shunyavara Vishatya Desha Taline Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 18, the battle between Lord Boar and Hiraṇyākṣa. Text 12. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Tvang pat rathanam kila yuta padipo gatasvano svatasya ashvanuha Sangstapya chasman pramrijashru svakanam Yaksvam pratigyam nati parpartya sabyaha Tvang pat rathanam kila yuta padipo Gatasvano svatasya ashvanuha Sangstapya chasman pramrijashru svakanam Yaksvam pratigyam nati papartya sabyaha Tvam you pat rathanam of foot soldiers Kila indeed Yutapa of the leaders Adipaha the commander Ghatasva take steps Naha our Asvataye for defeat Ashu promptly Anuhaha without consideration Sangstapya having killed Cha and Asman us Pramrija wipe away Ashru tears Svakanam of your kith and kin Yaha he who Svam his own Pratiyam promised word Na not Atipiparti fulfills Asabhyaha not fit to sit in an assembly. So Varahadeva is speaking. He's challenging Hiraṇyākṣa. He tells him, you are supposed to be the commander of many foot soldiers, and now you may take prompt steps to overthrow us. Give up all your foolish talk and wipe out the cares of your kith and kin by slaying us. One may be proud that he does not deserve a seat in an assembly if he fails to fulfill his promised word. A demon may be a great soldier and commander of a large number of infantry, but in the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is powerless and is destined to die. The Lord therefore challenged the demon not to go away, but to fulfill his promised word to kill him. Tvam pat ratanam kila yutapadi po katasvano svatasya ashvanuha Sangstapya jasman pramrijashru svakanam yaksvam pratigyam natipipartyasabhyaha. You are supposed to be the commander of many foot soldiers, and now you may take prompt steps to overthrow us. Give up all your foolish talk and wipe out the cares of your kith and kin by slaying us. One may be proud that he does not deserve a seat in an assembly if he fails to fulfill his promised word. Hiraṇyākṣa Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Midam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Swabharantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustate Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadana Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, first of all, I welcome you to this, as we talk a little bit about the Lord in his foremost Varahadeva. My voice is not in best shape, but I hope you can still understand a little bit. So, Hiraṇyākṣa, he was, at least from the description we find here, he was known to be quite proud. We have a description in the beginning of the 17th chapter, the chapter before, which is called the victory of Hiraṇyākṣa. And he was so, well, we'll see here a few verses. So this will go on. Okay. Can you still hear? Speak a little louder. So Hiraṇyākṣa's temper was difficult to control. He had anklets of gold tinkling about his feet. He was adorned with a gigantic garland, and he rested his huge mace, Mahagada. He had a Mahagada on one of his shoulders. His mental and bodily strength, as well as the boon conferred upon him, had made him proud. He feared death at the hands of no one, and there was no checking him. The gods, therefore, were seized with fear at his very sight, and they hid themselves, even as snakes hide themselves for fear of Garuda. So he was very powerful. I think in another place it is described that he was so tall, he practically, the clouds, he was reaching up to the clouds. So this is one of the qualities Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita about the demon. Dambo darpa abhimanascha kroda parushryam evacha agyanam chavijatasya partha sampadam asurim. He says to Krishna, to Arjuna, pride, damba, darpa, arrogance or conceit, abhiman, anger, harshness and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature. And Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, in this verse, the royal road to hell is described. The demoniac want to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science, although they do not follow the principles. They are always arrogant or proud in possessing some type of education or so much wealth. They desire to be worshipped by others and demand respectability, although they do not command respect. Over trifles they become very angry and speak harshly, not gently. They do not know what should be done and what should not be done. They do everything whimsically, according to their own desire, and they do not recognize any authority. These demoniac qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies in the wombs of their mothers, and as they grow, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities. So this Hiraṇyākṣa is a perfect example of this. From the very beginning he was like that. So we are trying to become devotees. So therefore we should be careful about these types of qualities that are, as Krishna says, asurim, what is it? Sampadam asurim, the qualities of the demoniac nature. So therefore we find very important instruction given by the Lord himself, actually, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Trinadapi Sunichena. One should try to be humble, even more humble than the grass on the ground. And then it will be possible, Kirtaniya, Sadahari, one will be able to chant the holy name without any difficulty, constantly. Otherwise, if we are blinded, confused by pride and arrogance, then, as Srila Prabhupada says here, one is actually walking on the royal road towards hell. And we can see that this pride is very prominent nowadays. Like we have one leader in the world who wants to make America great again. Very proud. This is the best country in the whole world. And probably India also has pride, right? You just celebrated recently. What was it? Huh? So, and people will, with pride, take the flag, right? Yes. And show. And of course here these people who are living in Gurugram, although it's the city of the Guru, it has become the city of the proud cyber gods. Is it? Yes. Big buildings, much better than Delhi, much more advanced, more clever. All the brains are in Gurugram, very proud. And then material nature will just slap them sooner or later, and they'll just disappear from the scene. So this is the truth. And those who are a little intelligent, they should understand that. Whatever one may achieve, and of course we have all these stories of the demons in Srimad Bhagavatam, like this Hiraṇyākṣa or his brother Hiraṇyākṣa, or Ravana, or Vena, or anybody, doesn't matter. Sooner or later, they'll just be smashed to pieces. And generally Krishna doesn't even come himself to do that. There's no need. When he wants to play, like he did in case of Varaha coming, even in Nishingadev, he was playing with Hiraṇyākṣa. As the description is, he was playing like Garuda was playing with a snake. And sometimes he'd captured him, but then he let him go, just to play with him. And then all the demigods became disturbed. Oh no, don't be careful, don't let him go again. Kill him immediately. So sometimes the Lord, he enjoys this fighting. That's the whole story behind Hiraṇyākṣa, Hiraṇyākṣa, Jai Vijay. The Lord wants to enjoy some fighting, so they take 3 births as demons. But these ordinary demons, they have the same quality: pride, especially anger, very angry, harsh, and ultimately ignorant. They are being defeated by Krishna's agent, the material nature. He doesn't have to come himself to kill these, as Prabhupada sometimes says, these petty demons, small-time demons. Although sometimes they seem to be very powerful, and because they don't know what to do, what not to do, so then in some ways it looks like they could destroy the world. But in the 70s, there was, 60s, 70s, the Cold War era, there was this anxiety that any time there could be a third nuclear war and then the whole world will be destroyed. So then when devotees were voicing their concern, anxiety, what will we do, what will we do? And first of all, Prabhupada always used to say, they don't have the power to destroy the world. They may think like that, but the material nature is much more powerful. So, so therefore, as I said, devotees, we should be very much conscious that this kind of quality, this pride, is very detrimental for developing the right attitude in devotional service. And then here, this is Kapila Deva's instructions later on. And we will find, let me go to chapter 29, he will describe devotees who are prakrita bhaktas, mixed devotees. And one of those qualities, which are not very good qualities, are described in text number 8, where he says, Abhishandaya yohingsam dambam matsaryam evava sangrambi binadrik bhavam mai kuryat satamasaha. So that's a devotee in tamaguna. You can be, if you want to, be a devotee in ignorance, tamaguna. You shouldn't be. A devotee shouldn't be in ignorance. So devotional service, executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent and angry. We heard these. This is actually Asurim Sampada. And who is a separatist? This is considered to be in the mode of darkness. So it's possible, according to Kapila Deva's instructions, as he says to his mother, there are multifarious paths of devotional service in terms of the different qualities of the executor. So it's possible to be an executor of devotional service in the mode of darkness, with being proud and envious and violent and angry and everything we shouldn't be. So then, of course, this is not very good. So let's see Prabhupada's purport. It has already been stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, that the highest, most glorious religion is the attainment of causeless, unmotivated devotional service. What is this verse? You should all know this verse. Savai Pungsam Yato Bhaktira Dhokshaje. Very good. So this is the summary of this verse. In pure devotional service, the only motive should be to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is not actually a motive. That is the pure condition of the living entity. In the conditioned stage, when one engages in devotional service, he should follow the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master in full surrender. The spiritual master is the manifested representation of the Supreme Lord because he receives and presents the instructions of the Lord as they are by disciplic succession. It is described in Bhagavad Gita that the teachings therein should be received by disciplic succession. Otherwise, there's adulteration. To act under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master with a motive to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with a motive to satisfy, is pure devotional service. If one has a motive for personal sense gratification, his devotional service is manifested differently. Such a man may be violent, proud, envious, and angry, and his interests are separate from the Lord's. One who approaches the Supreme Lord to render devotional service, but who is proud of his personality, envious of others, or vengeful, is in the mode of anger. He thinks that he is the best devotee. Devotional service executed in this way is not pure. It is mixed. And it is of the lowest grade, tamasaha. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur advises that a Vaishnava who is not of good character should be avoided. You don't have to criticize. You don't have to do anything. Just avoid. It's not an offense. The Vaishnava is one who has taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the ultimate goal of life. But if one is not pure and still has motives, then he is not a Vaishnava of the first order of good character. One may offer his respects to such a Vaishnava because he has accepted the Supreme Lord as the ultimate goal of life. But one should not keep company with a Vaishnava who is in the mode of ignorance. Very clear. So this was one. Then there's more verses describing a person in the mode of passion and then also in the mode of goodness. But parodharma means even beyond the mode of goodness. We should try to Shuddha Sattva become, go to the transcendental stage. So anyway, this is very important to be conscious that yes, one can be executing devotional service, tilak, dhoti, everything you want, You don't have to be part of a different type of movement, which is blue jeans and t-shirts and beards and long hair and all that. That's also there. But even if you look like, the Pakha Vaishnava, always clean-shaved, he can practically like a mirror, looks like everything is perfect. But as Bhaktivinoda Thakur points out, but in his mind he's thinking something else. So then he is a Kali Chela. So that's possible. It's possible. So one has to be careful. First of all, not to become oneself like that, obviously. And if there are people like that, then you can offer your respect, but don't become too much intimately associated, because otherwise you will develop those qualities sooner or later. That's how it works. Sangat sanjayate kama. If one has association with persons who are envious, proud, and violent and angry, then sooner or later one will probably also show these kind of inclinations, and that is not. It's the low, as Prabhupada said here, it's the lowest grade of devotional service, so we should try to come to the highest grade. Why should we be to the lowest grade? So we have all these instructions are there, we should take them seriously. So now the question may be, and it's a fact, this tendency to be proud is very strong actually. Even if you don't have to show anything, you don't have any good qualities, you're still proud of whatever it may be. As Prabhupada says, even the pauper, the beggar in the street, he will be proud of one coin he may have received, or whatever possessions he may have. So that's actually even worse than somebody who has nothing to show and he's still proud of something insignificant. I mean, at least you should be like Hiraṇyākṣa, tall, let practically the whole earth trembles when you walk, and you may become proud. That's understandable. But, you're just an ordinary person, and you're proud. What is this? So, to counteract pride, it is good to, pride, as it is said here, it's Mayi kuryatsa tamasaha. It's in the mode of darkness, actually, ignorance, because it means you don't understand your position, right? First thing we understand, yes, we are not the body, because whatever tendency for pride may be there, what is it based on? On our bodily, you could even say, constitution, or whatever qualities are associated or connected with the body, right? Like generally people who are strong, they have these. We just passed by this. They have these gyms everywhere nowadays. What was the advertisement? You saw this? There was an advertisement of this guy. You have probably, because it's so nearby. No, there's a lady also. Ladies are not exempt. They also want to have muscles. Why, we are equal, so why only men should have muscles? We can also have muscles. And then if you have the muscles, then you become proud. You just look at me. And then they do these exhibitions. Of course, you have to take off your clothes. Otherwise, how can you appreciate the muscles? So there's a disadvantage for the ladies. They can't take off everything. Because men, they will show their muscles everywhere. And then they go like this, and then the photograph is taken, and then you go like this, and another photograph. True, no? So then that person becomes old. So then the muscles will shrink. And when this, maybe he was the Mr. Universe 50, 60 years ago, and now he's 90, and it's all gone. So this pride of your physical fitness and whatever, it's just a very temporary thing. It will last for some time and it will go away. Of course, then we can speak also about beauty. Now you are in advantage. Those who have female bodies, generally they're considered more beautiful than the guys. And there are many who become models and actresses in the movie industry or singers or something like that. And they become very proud of their appearance. And then you have to take care of that also every single day, so it will not diminish. But it will diminish. Time will not make an exception. So then you have to start to inject Botox, or you have to start to lift, or you have to do so many things. You have to cut something and take skin from your backside and, put it here so it's more soft and without any wrinkles and all that. So, material nature, time, Krishna says, time, I am taking away everything. He will even take away that. So then your pride should be going down. But generally we are so fools. We still continue to be proud, although there's nothing to be proud of. But that's the worst. You don't really, your beauty is gone, your strength is gone, your memory fails. And you still think, I'm the greatest. I always give this example. Most of you will not know even who I talk about. 1964, world champion of heavyweight boxing, Cassius Clay. He's older, he knows. Anybody else knows who I'm talking about? No. Who is this? And he was world champion. And he had a black body. So in the 60s, in America, a black person becoming the world champion is practically a scandal for all the white persons. Yes. And he was very proud that, he is the representative of all the black people. And he becomes the world champion. So then you can go in Google, probably you're online, you can just look it up, have a picture of Cassius Clay after he won the gold medal in the Olympics. He goes to the ring with all the reporters are with their cameras. I'm the greatest. Of course, he was, apparently. It looked like. Then a few years later, Parkinson came. Yeah. That means, your big muscles, you go like this, right? So then, before you could punch somebody and they will just lie on the floor on you, you become the world champion. Now you go like this, you cannot even lift a cup of tea. So what pride, where's your pride of being the greatest? It has been smashed completely by a little disease, nothing else. And now, of course, old age comes, and he already, a few years ago, he left his body. So this whole imagination of being the greatest just completely dissolved and disappeared. So that's for everybody. And of course we will see Hiraṇyākṣa also. He is very proud. He goes to Varuna, right? Yes. And he challenges him. Come on, let's fight, And Varuna says, well, wait a minute, I have something else to do, and no time now. So he goes everywhere looking for an opponent, right? Sometimes people do this, those who think they're very strong. They walk around looking for where's somebody here to fight? I will show that I'm the greatest. So, and then of course Varahadeva will come. Here now Varahadeva is challenging him, saying, come on, let's fight. You are supposedly, what did he say, tell him? You're supposed to be the commander of so many soldiers. Now, come on, overthrow us, try to kill us. One may be proud, but if he doesn't even deserve to sit in an assembly if he doesn't keep his word. So, let's see, how will this develop? Aha. Yes, so that's the end of the challenge. Then in the next verses, Maitreya Muni, he will describe how the demon, being thus challenged, he becomes angry and agitated. That's normally that's why Varadeva did that. And he trembled in anger like a challenged cobra. And then hissing, he sprung up, like an assault. He tries to attack the Lord, and with his mace and all that. And then the Lord, moving slightly aside, like he's very expert. So then the demon goes, he didn't. He dodged the violent mace, just as an accomplished yogi would elude death. Very nice. So anyway, yes, this pride is just a sign of ignorance that one does not really understand one's position as a very insignificant living entity. And normally, well, practically in all of the cases, as I said, the pride is based on some qualities that have to do with the body one has. So now you may be the big, strong man, and you are very proud of your muscles, or here you're very proud of your cyber brain. You're very intelligent, and you can do so many things. And then after some time, you have to change the body. And then you get a body that is very insignificant, even more, so all these qualities are completely, they're gone. From being the world champion in heavy boxing, you become an ant. So now what? So we should understand, yes, whatever you may be, it's a very temporary affair, and it comes and goes very quickly. So there's no reason that one should not be proud. And at any rate, whatever qualities one may have, and you may be very intelligent, and you can even do things that other normal people may not be able to do. But all this is also, it's like given by some higher authority, and it can be taken away at any time. Like somebody is a gifted artist, then they also become very proud of their ability, whatever they can do. But that will be taken, that is given, and they call it a gift, a gifted person, right? So a gift is something from somebody else. And some of those who are a little more, you could say, intelligent, they will recognize that, yes, I got this inspiration to create this piece of art, but it came to me. They understand, because actually that's the experience. It's just suddenly appeared. Like Mozart, he was explaining how a whole symphony would come into his brain. And he was able to, he could start to write it down. And not just one instrument after the other. The whole thing. Like an orchestra, you have many different instruments. And, it's quite complicated. They all go to, and symphony means they're all sounding together in harmony. At least in those days. Nowadays that's even questionable. But that's the idea. So he was writing down all the different instruments at the same time. And then he said, but before he could finish, another symphony was coming. So now what to do? Now you had to, which one will I... So he became a little... was not so easy to write, he hadn't even finished one, now another one was coming, and he had to write it also. But all this was coming from some outside source. He was recognizing that. It was not me thinking and trying to figure out some tune, something like that. That's the low-class composers. They have to really think, and maybe this way, or maybe then try it. No, this doesn't sound... No, it was just coming. So, and that's how it is, actually. Everything is coming, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, all knowledge and remembrance and even forgetfulness. I'm the source of that. So those who can understand that, then where's the point of being proud? Then you give all the credit to the Supreme Lord. By His mercy, I received this inspiration, so I cannot take credit for it, right? Even Srila Prabhupada, sometimes many times he actually says that people say, oh, you have done something wonderful. And he said, I don't know. I don't think it's anything wonderful. If there's any credit, it's the credit that I just try to execute the order of my spiritual master. Everything else is the mercy of the Lord. He would send devotees to help and so many things. So that's the devotee's consciousness, that he sees whatever happens, even so-called bad, but especially even things that are good, he doesn't take the credit for himself. He recognizes this is Krishna's mercy. And he also knows it can be taken away at any time. Whenever the Lord thinks, oh, now it's finished, then he just takes it all away. So we are just, yes, should we have this attitude of being a servant, and whatever the Lord desires, that was explained in the purport here, that's pure devotional service. Anakulyena Krishna Anushilana. Whatever the Lord wants, we do that. And we don't take the credit for it, because the ability to do the service and whatever else we may have as a quality, we will recognize that it's Krishna's mercy that we can do this, we are able to do that. That's the difference to the demon, who is, it's so important that Krishna uses 3 different synonymous words: Damba, Darpa, Abhiman. Right? These are practically the same. If you say somebody is proud and arrogant, oh, well, that's practically, what's the difference between being proud and being arrogant? Explain to me. Or conceit, Abhiman. It's translated as conceit, like a false prestige. Vanity. The synonymous words means it's the same thing, just expressed in a different way. So he said 3 times, Damba, Darpa, Abhimana. So these 3, which are practically the same, these are demoniac qualities. So if that is the first thing and it's 3 times repeated, we should take it as something important to avoid. Because the tendency is very easy to become proud of anything. Even if there's no point of being proud of it, still we are proud of it. And that's an impediment in devotional service. So, any comments or questions? Oh, you have? Yes, microphone. Oh my God. It definitely works. It looks like.
Question.
So it's all clear. That's good. So we can finish immediately. It's on, I think. Oh? Now it doesn't work. Okay. Hare Krishna. Try again. Yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful guidance you gave us. I just wanted to ask you, you have told Dhammadar Padmanabha, everything is very bad. But this is very easily available and easily receivable, and we are very prone to it also. So how in practical life we can avoid this problem?
How to avoid? How to avoid becoming proud, because it's so easy to the propensity to become proud is very strong, right? It's easy to become proud. How to avoid it? That's a good question, yes. As far as I remember, I think it's 7th canto, the recommendation is to counteract pride one should serve the devotees. Does that sound right? It's always good, I think. But I remember that. So because if we do some practical service, that's just the opposite of being proud. Means, everybody should serve me. And you're not very much inclined to serve anybody. A proud person, how can he serve? No, he will be reluctant to do service. So if we take service as, you could say even as a remedy, but as a regular practice, to do some service, even you can have some goal that at least one time a day, every day, I want to do some personal service for somebody else. Whatever it may be, even serving some prasadam or cleaning something. So then that will help, obviously, to counteract this tendency. Because if you never do that, you're always in the position of receiving service. Others will serve you, Then it becomes difficult. So I think that's a good idea. I could look it up, but I think it's 7th canto chapter, where it's, who is it? Narada Muni speaks about the perfect human society or something like that. So all the different bad tendencies are explained how to counteract, like lust and pride and all these things. Anyway, anybody has some additional idea about how to counteract pride? Some recommendation? Well, as I tried to explain, it's based on ignorance. It's tamaguna, which means a lack of knowledge who you are, or why you should become proud of anything. No, it's true. I gave these examples. Whatever you think you are proud of, just try to recognize that it's given. We are not the creators of anything. Even if we think we are creating something, like I said, Mozart, he created these symphonies and he is famous for it, even hundreds of years later on. But he recognized it's not me who created this. Actually, it was an inspiration coming from outside. So the one should give the credit to wherever it's coming from. Even if you don't know, we should know. We know it's Krishna. Everything is coming from Krishna. So those people, they may even say, yes, it's God's mercy. Well, that's good. They recognize, Demons don't recognize. That's the difference. Because they don't recognize that if there's any higher source of anything, it's all material. And so therefore, if I do something, it's me. I take the credit for it. Yeah? If I have strength, why? Because I went to the gym and I did all the exercises and therefore I have all my muscles. Yeah? And whatever, they think it's me, I and mine. So devotee, he shouldn't have this ignorant outlook on life. If we understand I'm just a very insignificant jiva, if we look at our size, that's really nothing to be proud of. 1/10,000th part of the tip of a hair. Who are you? Who you think you are? If you can't even be seen, I cannot even see you. What are you proud of? Just because you developed a big body like an elephant. That's Hiraṇyākṣa. But as we said, that will be taken away in time. So if we are conscious of it, then one can counteract pride also by knowledge, especially self-realization. Who am I? I'm not very important. Because how many jivas are there anyway? You cannot even count them. So if you are not there, if you, let's say you disappear, will anybody miss you? No. Amongst unlimited number of living entities in this world, one less or one more, who cares? Even the whole universe is so insignificant, and that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions. He compared it to a seed, mustard seed, in a big bag of mustard seeds. And he says, if one seed is missing, who cares? So if the whole universe goes missing with you inside, and all of us, who cares? Another example he gives is the shepherd who has all these sheep, maybe hundreds or thousands, whatever. And one goes missing. Now who cares? He has so many others. He will not even, normally will not even be disturbed. So that's the example he gives. So we should understand, if I don't exist, if I stop to exist, anybody will care? No. So then, what are we proud of? Okay, that helps maybe. But we have to remember it. Don't forget it.
There's another tendency, right? Like in devotee community, we have seen that whatever we do, if someone says that we have done this and Mataji have done this, all Krishna's mercy, all Guru's mercy. So we have understanding this is Krishna's mercy, but then comes another kind of pride that we are so special that this mercy is only coming to us.
Okay. So if you want to be proud, you can always find a way to be proud. But, it's a matter of... No, it's true. If you want to be proud, then you will find a reason to be proud. Although it's wrong, actually. So, no. If it's really Krishna's mercy, it's His mercy. It's not your quality to receive the mercy. Therefore we call it causeless, right? I don't deserve it, still I get it. Then I may be proud, as you say, I'm so special that I get the causeless mercy. Then what can be done? Just be proud and be happy. And then probably Krishna will show you, sooner or later, in some way, that you are wrong. He'll take away everything and make you very, very small. So then there's no more reason to be proud of anything, right? When you lose all your positions, all your money, everything, you become insignificant. I think in one of the prayers Prabhupada wrote when he was in Vrindavan, he expresses that. There's a long list of names of all these family members. Now I'm penniless, so nobody even... If you have money, then everybody will come to you. Now I have no money, nobody cares. Nobody ever thinks of me, nobody comes to me. So I become obsolete, Forget about this guy. If he becomes a millionaire tomorrow, everyone will come to you. Hey Prabhu, how are you doing? Can we, maybe you have a little bit I can use for Krishna service, a few thousand, million rupees. You have so many. But if he has nothing, then who cares? Nobody will even look at him. It's like that. People become important when they have something. And then they also, of course, become very proud. I'm a billionaire. I have so much money. And everybody comes to me and wants my favors, and everybody goes like this. And as soon as you have nothing, nobody even wants, you've completely forgotten. Nobody calls you, nobody talks to you. So if Krishna sees that there's some undue pride, he may just take away everything and make you insignificant. And we can maybe pray for that. If you feel I have a problem being proud, please Krishna, just take away everything. So you may do that. Whatever it takes. All right. That's all. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Antara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaura ki jai.
Hare Krishna, His Holiness Bhakti Gaurvani Maharaj ki